Khachanov game, which ended in a draw, which I think was basically perfect play by black. So d5, which is one line I can recommend, although if you're playing for a win, it may be a little bit difficult. Knight e4, and there are a couple moves here. If knight f3, c5, take, 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 and knight d7. Yeah, putting strong pressure in the center. Rook e8, take, 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 and now f6. And black will regain the pawn quickly. White will simply check, queen d5 check, and play e6. And then he wins the pawn on e6 on the next move with an equal position. So after rook e8, the position will simplify after f6 to an equal position. So knight f3 is not very challenging. The whole center kind of evaporates. And if a3 and you play c5, take, take, queen a5 check, and f5. And black seems to be doing very well. He doesn't even need to worry about ever taking here, because he'll immediately take back and win this piece. So rook b1, rook a c8, take, take, and bishop a4 led to a very complex game with a piece sacrifice, but black managed to draw in this game. So that was a recent Tomaszewski game, and if I go back to bishop d3, which is the main line, there we can see c5 and knight e2 and knight f3 will transpose. C takes d4, and again c takes d4, knight takes d4, and there are two different moves here. Both of them, I think they both draw, but if knight d7, excuse me, bishop f4, queen h4, and it's awkward to defend that bishop, so g3 is the main move and queen h3. And again, queenside castling is the most natural. There are two different ways that there are hypothetical draws. For example, if c takes, take, f3, take, take, and now you can force a draw by just shuffling the bishop. Unfortunately, because the queen has no other squares. But there doesn't appear to be any real way to play for a win here, in my opinion, for white. So I think he should actually take that draw. And in the game, when queenside castle, take and check, and knight b6, and there was a draw in the game. Qc2 back row played in Russia earlier this year. So anyways, I think that this line is pretty much equal, and there's another way you could play with d takes c4, bishop takes e4, queen takes d4. And one line went bishop f4, h6, castle, knight c6. And they're pretty concrete lines, so unfortunately I can't make any general comments. I can just say that black has to find a couple concrete moves and use the knight on c6 to defend the king side. So he plays knight e7 and knight g6. And there is one drawing line with bishop takes h6 and perpetual check through these means. But anyways, I can go back to one more thing here. And this line, I believe there are multiple drawing lines here. And the simplest is probably the knight d7 line I was suggesting. But looking for a way to try to play a concrete way to win, d6 is very interesting. And now there was a game with bishop d3, and this was Carlsen Kramnik, and knight c6, knight e2, and the correct setup is bishop a5, and the bishop goes back to b6. So castle, bishop b6, d5, and knight b4. Take, take, and knight g4. And black already has an excellent position. And in the game, Black actually won extremely quickly. Kramnik won in 20 moves after Queen H4, Queen H4, Queen F4, F5, take, and Bishop takes F2 check. And it was a pretty crushing win. Take, Knight G1, Rook F1, and the game was over. So, if I go back, the main move here after D6 is A3. Bishop takes C3 check, B takes C3. And there are multiple different pawn structures Black can play here. He can try to play a solid pawn structure with E5 and Knight C6. For example, E5, Bishop D3, Knight C6, Knight E2, B6, castle, Bishop A6, F4. And this line has been analyzed by Sokolov in his recent book, Winning Chess Middle Games. And for example, if you played some slow and random moves, like H6 or something, White would quickly crush him. For example, Rook F3 and Knight G3. If you take, you can just play Bishop B2, and the bishop is very strong in this diagonal. For example, E5 and Bishop E4 and Knight H5, and White has a completely crushing attack. So I'll go back some moves, and Knight D7 is the best move to try to solidify the position. And if Bishop E3, Knight A5, Rook F3, Knight A5, and in the game I believe C5 was played. And if Queen A2, then Queen E8, take, and take C5, and the knight will obtain the E5 square almost immediately because of that change in the pawn structure. So after Knight A5, in the game it went C5, take, C4, which was a strong move, giving the knight the B3 square. Knight B3, take, Knight C5, Knight D3, and E takes F4 was very strong. And after Rook takes D7, Queen E8, and in most cases, wherever the bishop goes, he'll be able to exploit this pin on this diagonal, or else he'll be able to exploit the various hanging pieces. So, anyways, another line is Knight G3, which was recommended by Sokolov, but after Bishop takes C4, Bishop takes C4, Knight takes C4, and Knight F5. For example, if Black just plays take, B5, it appears that his position is still pretty solid, so it's not completely clear what the correct result should be, or even what the evaluation should be. It's still very unclear. And the other way to play it is to play C5, Knight E2, and if you play D5, you have to be careful. If you play slowly, like Knight BD7, Knight H5, if you make these random moves like Rook E8, Knight F8, slowly White can play F3 and G3 to prevent Knight F4. And if Black plays with no concrete plan, he can just get kind of crushed here, and here Black is probably nearly losing because of G4, G5 coming soon. So actually, after D5, he has to play Knight H5 immediately, Knight E2, and Queen F6 so that he can play Knight F4. And after castle, it would probably be a mistake